고거라이 지든데 로전 제사요.
Main reason to come to India is to get audience of His Holiness Dalai Lama and get education opportunity, which is not in Tibet. And
찍으라시래. 네, 제가 이 김세저를 다가 찍으라시더래. 겨울음 진짜다. 안지단 편날이야. 롭존지야 그거 매지 아니 최지야 그겁세 시라게 매지 롭존단데 그게 그겁지야인데 그겁 개매서 안 돼서는 개갈 요인 델레는 롭존지야다 군두지야다 그거야고 좀
my reason is also similar to my friend. There's no education opportunity in Tibet, and then the main thing is to get audience of His Holiness and education opportunity. Now I'm in India and I'm getting good education opportunity.
딩아 이가요 미유조를 가리래서는 당고드니다 콘서시아다 지구지기안에 아니 겨울음지제야다 아니부터 지다 표현한거다 내지 망고지 아니 지게 계급도 칼 아니 고구매야다 진짜 안가랑고에서 표현할 아니 지 개밀 제원에 아니 지 두고 망고지 아니 러멍구리 영유유 어디 지 파지다 계급 칼 시에지 인지 고드라지 최제 지 지러전에 선지 어딘지 제도 중에
It's similar to my friends, but my main reason is to come to get audience from His Holiness Dalai Lama, and then I, being a nun from Tibet, I suffered for many years. So I thought if I come out, I can express what the people of Tibet suffering in Tibet. That was my main concern coming to India.
Were the other two nuns already nuns when they were still in Tibet?
마프네 안에서네 로치츠레스 안서서네 바 말아서 농바는 샤를 농바 타리 미산로 드네 라마지거든 안서네 드네 디 로치 로전제 드네 야용베
I became only a nun when I was Tibet only 1 year. And after that, I went to, in our village, there's no nunnery. So I went to far away to get teaching from one Lama. I stayed there 1 year and then I came to India. My case is same case as other nun. I'm also, I become nun 1 year there and then I came to India.
The next question is, how did you prepare? The three nuns told us that they mainly went to India to get better education.
Mm-hmm.
Was that religious education or was it a formal education like other people had? Because we think that formal education is also it's called China.
And it can also Kyanzo de kashi eketinde kasa lobjong kogop raya chido maa yongwe sung te lobjong kogop de chug lobjong sungu yu yang lobjong jidang gi shijin lobjong kogop sungu yu kage sungu yu sa
저니 응아저 아니 지인배 차네 아니 chug lobjong di cheya di ke chimbo ji je du che je yongwe yin 아니 쇼로 직다 lobjong bebeji geida anji lobjong da changmo lo xin ya ni mi yu che je en du se yongwe yin
main thing is we are talking about the religious education because we being a nun we need a religious education, and other thing is the modern educations also.
ngaramane pula gobana lochi tv kola kozo trawata tseni zwa ane mom thons ze inale ngara thloni rawo de kiyo mare tine ngara jande shara du inale koloni me za shi mende tige zo tsini jang da tine bu gi da inji da chama jande yu tsene yewi.
When I stayed 1 year in Tibet in one of the monastery, I saw the monks studying Buddhist philosophy and all, because there's no nunnery where I can go and study Buddhist philosophy. So main thing is my studying Buddhist philosophy, and then English and Tibetan.
올라마스.
다갈라. 저서 아니 임베찬에 체제야 제다 아니디 가사 다 낭베 추기 다 가서래 다 뭐다 야고 쳐야래 다 로저래 제야 체디.
Main thing is to study Buddhist philosophy, to understanding the Buddhist philosophy. That's my main concern, she said.
Then the next question is going to be, how did you prepare to leave Tibet to go to India?
And pöne ene jagal ma tojo yoela ene tadi kharche vesa kinas ma toya yoela tadi kandes che vesa jagal ma toya
저기 집진이 지하게 자기 요마rel라 아니 지하게임도니 그 사야단데 도야다 다지 밀라니 티니엘라니 베샤라우딘데 제제 아니 공부계제도 제제 소표용비
we don't have much things to prepare. We hired one guide, and we need to prepare money to give to them, and then we need to and then some food on the way. These are the things we prepared. No.
ngara tambo ya yung di tsambala ngotse gumban di tsambala me ngoji la tse ya ro gre sene kecha ji kosu tene kutsuna ne pugu da ge ko ane de tene sonza nga zo ane de tsunya de ro tu gre sane ngara na sans tene ngazo su ane ropu sonda nga ji nima ji langa ne tsu yong je na la ta ro sene shiwe tene nan tan de tsambala pa gela de tsando ne gela taro la nan taro la ne tanso tene tan de tsambala nga tsu me tu ji ri ji nyon de de tsama ko tsu tsame ya ki ya tene la sa pa de ta kala dan tene ngu da tsama nyon de ru je ne gomu dan da kala da tsama nyon de je nyon de ki je yong tene mo de ni na ma tsu ya la sa pa de yong.
When I was in that monastery, I heard that there are around 50 people are leaving to India, and then we are 4 nuns. We thought it's a good idea to join with them and go to India, and then we collected the money, and I went to see my lama and got permission from my lama, and I went to my family, asked them that I'm leaving, and then they collected some money. And then they joined that group. There were around 60 people in that group. And then we came first to Lhasa.
안저 인데 저지스데 시라지야스게 메죠 아니 숨이라 안 잠바 망부지 케니 요이 베샤스니 시라케야메 아니 떠긴드스 요이.
We don't have much thing to prepare. We are 3 nuns. We just collected tsampa, you know tsampa? Tsampa to eat on the way. And 3 of the, we don't have much money also. We just came it like that. 3 nuns.
Took a different road.
Kinza sangma lo any langa mandap chene yong yujiresa.
Would you tell us, because you went with 60 people, you went with 3 people. How many people were you?
Can I name to go? 32.
32. So could you tell us more about the road you took and how long it took?
Can so get any langa la katsu course on me katsu in the court is shero nasa. Again, some shit. When you'll cut up.
아마 가anga 간지 저죠. 샤가. 그래서 아니 간저 아니 숨이라 아니 랑갈베 기run고 콘서트 지장 안저 기run고 khoare 다워 듄즈 랑갈 데레 다워 듄즈 아니 안 기ring다 chen 가름 비치네 아니 데 그래 처마마 юм즈네 아니 디 라 강당니 파 자갈 좀 하더니 다원이 숨데 쳐갈 때는 간저 로고지 베다 깔래 간다 베 회사 바 랑자 로친스라 나다 니 로고니 데데이 걔는 교구르베 아니 로고니 간저니 베 우주제 다워 숨진데 다 초마왕들이야 쪽바시도라 쪽바들이야 내장야니 될 찾아겠는데 쪽바바디 찾아겠로지스기도니 찾아겠 쇼게 찾아겹 살랭같이 있는 쇼게 찾아겹더니 권다 미신과 같이 인데스제니 남다 트럼하고 저버들 더 숨즈 찾아겹제 돼 있는데네 가름 미신이야 남다 그디 더 시베날 아니 그 강아름 미신이야 꼬라라 칸에 랑갈 미터기도 쓴데서 쪽반데 랭게스라 근데 랭게도 잠만이야 먼저 틸 서도니 망불레샤 띠띠띠인데 서도니인데 okay motalia tison de tini kharam chilia gore gemne dawasum dawni zi ige gore gemde ande kharam chil gore gem dene gore gem yan pha prance se joro de dene zamba zo sra ande prance del zamba longa chi ni ya pha robala ya langa khange gemne nebali la khange gemje ya rangja chu lo yo ni yan kharam ji gore yangya gemje de
I'll translate for a while actually. She said she came with her non-companion to Mount Kailash first. Mount Kailash, it was during winter. It's very cold there. They couldn't go to the Mount Kailash itself. It's just near the Mount Kailash. They stopped there for 3 months. One of the nomad families there. They asked them to let them stay in there, and he was very kind. But he's very religious. He asked them to make that. You know that Saza means that. Mud statue, small statue. What do you call? I see. Okay, yeah, small mud clay, mud statue. Both of they made that for him, and he's giving them food and shelter. And then she stayed with them for 3 months. After 3 months, and then it was getting warmer. And then people say that there's a way to Mount Kailash itself. Then they went to Mount Kailash and they took around in the Mount Kailash. It was very cold still there, and they stayed for 2 months. And then they started moving towards the border. In the border again, they couldn't go because it was blocked by snow. They couldn't go, and then they said they finished their Champa also. They went here and there back to Champa.
아니 근데 나네 처마 반데를 데데도 좀만에 참제 모터 다니는데 CG 총과 개념인데리야 다 나네 랭고시라 다 발람라도 매들레 빙가 아자데다 꾸지 마티요로지스 미겐데스 랭게는데스 이와 가rum지 캬젠데스 데셔스 해설 랭게는 아자 코니 총바한데 개념이 모터 다니는 안에 아니 꾸지 마티요로지스 아자게 베샤 데샤 안 베샤 모터 다니게 베샤 레민도 코란주 티용고 인슬랍도 아니 ngama dos motor dani chile so ni ma do dal hesa do nang ne semje ji do ri khang ga kan do thu ma re so do je ne nga du me so thal ge yin ni ro ko ji de ngama lo do sa nga lo du me lab je u zu je je do de
I don't have parents, but I have a sister in Lhasa, and they were very worried about me, and they sent a message through some truck driver who are coming to Mount Kailash, asked them to bring her down to Lhasa because it's a winter, it's snowing, very cold. They think that she might die. So, but then she said she's determined to go to India. She didn't go back. Though the sisters asked them to bring, she didn't go back.
dene karam jiniya de khangwa jebje dawa niz de ne de shul boran phachini yangya de chongba din de mene rongba din de lugan chage je de yunggudu san hanzo boran chongba din de do ne de joge de jaga da nebali sanjam de narola se la chimbu jorra di khanshan sha se ne chongba din de nebali gi chongba din de luda lukteje 차게je 요니딘데도 디편에 차파키 아니 버바다 디 네발리 바로 손자니리샤 콘족에 pepe chongpa dinde ga nganzo Nepali chongpa dinde le ya ngani ni nga so ngani nga ni luge de chage nge dinde nyemdo chinje nimu chu rong ba ru lu khomba ja je yo mi an samre khala zo so dig do khashi samre dig min do ne lu thini chongpa dinde ga yang je do de de so an di sa ne yo nima shoge chi yang konda chu su shibas de lu ki chapa 아니 루자 사주건 전예수 겹전데서 건다 대야 남라윤도 좀바 루를 차게 아니야 두스리자제 니마 투 콤바겹제 요미 엔델라 디세스도 담제세스도 데남 남주 탕가 춘주도 근데네 아니 콘솔로가 친수 아니 간저 와데샤서 아니 간저 조스지에 민도 근데 네발리 콤바딘데도 샤르바 콤바딘데 와딜야 닝마게 딘데 민주 주부딘데 추샤 와딜 민주 주부촌이 정아즈 대야 미게 곰바샴들 야 니마 정아즈 인데스데 엔디도 곰바델 대슈런 거 콘속에 칼라르분데 콘소 대수
Then from Mount Kailash to we walked towards a border. From the border, from Kailash to Mount border, we came with Tibetan business people. And then Tibetan business people, they said now that it's getting warmer and there's not much problems of snow, so they sent us with Nepali business people who takes on the goats and sheep small bags of salt, and we came with them for 6 days walking. During the day they walk, and during night they stay wherever there's a nice grass. So we came with them. And when we came into the Nepal, there's a place called Thamse. So they left us there and they went their own village. So at that time we have nowhere to go. Again we found one monastery. We stayed in the monastery, one monastery 15 days, and then they gave us food and shelter. And then next again we found another monastery. We stayed there for 15 days. They gave us food and shelter.
아니 건조 공부도 미드즈라서 데 라마지 페어에서 바윤에 레레 아니 라마디 rumbu친들 그런 저 굳이 바데 바율 치료지스람나 라마디 배진 탑시다는 견서 치그레 승도 아니 디소산주님 정아 양가디 rumbu친디 좀 하자부도 들 민주 주부 수제대 엔데네 rumbu친 고난주 티야 탑시레지 나스레니 먼저 다 동발라 창마 토비게샤 근데 저한테 다 줘야지 남나네 까지 간저 숨샤서 녀로발이야 근데 네발리 체도 근데 사례든데 요래니 근데 등아다 둘러다가랑 거의 녀로가 신다 동바 창마마기 장되어래니 근데 언제 랑갈 푸지 투스라 푸디 양표버래 언제 님도 용비인스럽스 네발리네 표버래니 거 네발리 샤모도 주 괜제 치래니 남도 대법디즈만 저도 스튜디즈만 네발리 폴리스에 남사하고니 켄조 표버래샤 슬럼니 언제 표버 메리메이 롱바인스럽디즈만 켄조 표버래샤 동 토베게샤시 언제 로고 푸지어디 남조기도 야간에 마텐소 아니 녀로가 상래 권대어리들 먼저 숨잘러 제 담아서 rum부진다 단다 총바로도 좀 남줄 신수
Can pay labas the shidi any young I so and then she said that in that monastery they said there's one lama came from Nepal, Kathmandu, and they said that lama is going to take them. There were 3 nuns. They said they're going to take. And then Lama is flying, so he tried to help them. They went to airport. In the airport, her friend is wearing sari, acting as a Nepali. And they have one. They met on the way one monk also. He was wearing a Nepali cap, and he's also acting like Nepali. But they said, "You all are Tibetan. You are not Nepali. We can see you have a lot of pimples on the face. So you are not Nepali." So they didn't let them go with Lama. They had to stay there.
And the 주제 남당이야 남당 베드 다와지 남당 sorry 남당들이야 다와지 남당레 뒤좀바 사야지 메제드니 베보거란 통해 민두 아니 롱바자냐리샤 아니 꾸장한서 네발리게 데시는 국다로운데 제는데서 제면에 강바도다 토간데 탑장스 바란디도 위치 야스라 안데 데에니 칼라 창만 전에니 디제스 가사 구슈자냐 세제데 구슈 kushu kya kya se che de ni ma chu de zwe kushu se re kushu do nganzo de se nganzo chil sha sra khonzo be kushu mang do ye yin la nganzo thoga ga li sha ra ni nganzo la kwa nye gu do ra kushu ni nganzo khala ba ka go zo je ni kushu se je de ye nganzo ni me ji di thoga de ne bi sra kenzo de thoga de sha re nganzo kushu khonzo kushu li ya sha bu su do ra nganzo sha bu chang mun kenzo go se sha si ye li ya sha pe mang go kwa ya yes ani kiranzo de thoga sha ni sha bu chang mun se sha so thoga ne ma bi sra
They said they had to stay there 1 month. And then there's nowhere to go. They asked one of the Nepali village to let them stay. They put them in one of the top floor, I think on the roof or some veranda, which is top floor. And then they have no food. They don't know Nepali language. They don't have no food. They couldn't go here and there to buy and talk also. And what they do is there's a lot of apple tree around. They picked it apple for 6 days. They've been eating apples. So for 6 days they've been eating apples only. And then one day the owner of the house, they came, all of our apples gone, which is near to you. No, you can't stay there. They said, they chased them out of that house. Now there's another disaster now.
저거 나제 아니 슈리아 양가 아니 원저 드네 비우라 아니야 사지 신다지 강바지 야니 데브리디 토델 양 토가 양 다가리샤 콘조 코란스 올데 마 콘조 코란스 고고들라 코란스 오데데 돈조 양 던데랑 강바디 다우지 야 미지게 야르스라 야제네 nga bet na je bet ma bhabtu mindu yu 콘조 깬즈러지 자로도 디토가니 마 bhabtu mindu 아니 슈로 혼자 맹가로 지메르세 드니야 칼라제요 말에 아니 칼라메제 디 네발리 bombo 저버지레스도 디님도 윤두 잠바 폴리스 니도인데 티용도 딩은지 잘레서 니 nga nawa hakoni nga bet nimada zubdenro den leblish denye chung odi dinje nim ka yune di khujole bet nye de yiran bombo de thon de dawa thon je ni tangone na sha slam ni nga khoran zo rongba buji tisra buji tini odi le mengang la tisla jang mengang tiseng mengang ti khap yo me mang bu je so ande di star chi so ani ande ne khala yo mare ani ande ne khala ngan ta 간제제 가서 간저 뒤도제는 다가 구슈세 저거는데 구슈 과세 민도라네 슈르다 잠블롱 같이 렌저네 간저고 보지어리 부디 다 거기에 나갈래다 디산점데 삼바제도사 삼바자가 두이스 디kul리교가 두이스 야도스라 아니 nga khangbu zhungje de ni ro de zambalong ga chin si bi la chi gyab je zo zambalong ga ni ho de long ga nga di thog de zhung de ani zo thu wo ma nga na ne rogo 부디 남사말레스 레가 깔래카가 창마 콜구도사 답조 첨부 된데 갸추 아니 베든 추드네 파 싱딘데 동머딘데 어르추 빼깔래 레가 카슈 한거 거라구도사 코 데모든 건다다랑 말로레스네 콘조 잠블론제 출레스라 나 콘조 잠베시라라 민도 아선이 된 간조 nga 어즈 타샤 되는 간조 창마 선이 돼 잠블론 같이 부디 나한도 이제 샤리라 안한도 이제 세드 잠방 저 창마 이게 라지게 잠블론 가지고 잠방 아야 지라 타요 말이네 이르라디 geb로데 추고 잠바다스 추고 친친인데 저거 구레시도 간조들 고시geb제 간조 미르레 구레레 개념도 님도 진 잠바라 말이세 고시geb제 잠블론 같이라 잠블론 가지고 잠바
After eating 6 days apple, I got very sick. I couldn't come out of stray also. I became very sick, and then since we have chased out of that house, we had to find another house, and then we stayed in another house, and then now we thought that we need to do something. So my friends, they went to Bag Zampa, and one of our monk friend who went to build a bridge. And then he said he couldn't walk there. He said that most hard works he had to do, and he had to cross the rivers. He has to bring the timber out of rivers. Very difficult jobs they asking him to do. So he couldn't do that, and he came out. And then next day we decided to go into the villages. And they have to cross one small pass. Backside of that, there's a small grinder, or champa grinder. Have you seen the water one? They had 9 of that. And then they brought their own bags, and they went different places to bag the champa. I cannot.
안 되는 sambalon je den dijere den ya samba shirate masura dininga ani anzo konda shogo koi shogo kuma ko je nga ngero ko dige shogo durenal ma chom nga mi yungu dige tani ani mi yungu shira mi yungu do nga shul ma ko chom je anzo shogo kuma ko ran to konde shogo zoi je men san do shogo ngero ko toge gane mi yungu dige 때 로고니가 이게 저거 저 부디 dobjagan mi yungu de ta ani nga ge nga ta nye ro ko ji yan da jo ngani nye de yo ani police yungu do mene shoma ki jan shogo choro yu do ni she da la pudi she dang do kuni shogo zo go kuni she ni shogo hayang gang ngani nye jen de ma lu sura she jan nye jen lang ba pe ke son chogo si
da jagal ma ye sha and it's and then since it's difficult to find, then they thinking actually we are not supposed to take out things which is without permission, but we had to do this because there's a shortage of food. So we went to in the field and dug out the potato, and then we were boiling potato, and someone has two of them sleeping, and one was boiling potato, other one's looking at the outside where the police is coming not, and then they made that if somebody thinks that's a signal for police. So his friends is sinking, their friends is sinking. So police came, that the person who is boiling potato, they brought the hot boiled potato, put into their sleeping bags where they were sleeping. They felt very hot, but they couldn't shout because it's the police coming. They were just enduring that. Yeah.
아니 되네 대범버데 간절라 티거 디푸디 가상한 나제 로고자가 땅에 부셔로 와딜 안데스 맹간티스라 맹간티 되네 슐로 남도 티거 녀자 가지고 남도 땅스라 녀로고 숨 아니 레서 아니 가드네 가르만줄 네바 간절레 되네 미신다 정아제 아니 멍미지게 아니 가르만줄데 최된 게스라 안 최된네 아니 내랭간 레스 Delenda Kapgerle Taramsal.
1988. Yeah. She started from Lhasa 87, came to India 88. Yeah. And then there's some police had helped her to put into. She was very sick, so to help her to put into small aeroplane, and she came to Kathmandu.
That's us.
Yeah, she said then she came to the reception center, and then it's from there. No, in Kathmandu reception center. At that time, reception center is also not that much developed. She said she didn't get nothing in the reception center also. Now she has many more things to say, but she doesn't want to. She wants to give a chance to her friends.
미치와 안슬라선에 윤두 점발라 랑갈라 더니즈 고래 이날에 저기 또 뭐네 칼라 몸이 키는 라서 치치무지도 뛰는마 마치 시제 되는 알아서 키트듯이 키제야 요래 근데 저 가서 샤카르네 요래 샤카르 윤두 점발라 샤카르 샤콤네 윤두 점발라 랑갈라도 드니까 가르다 드니라 강에 지티마서 몸 시라 요래 먼저 뭐 두지리지요라 드네 칼라 참아도 두조요 말에 드네 용제 네팔이 카타리세 사체지도 딘레드 잠발랑아 저로보 몸 제 칼라 마조 드네 만살랑산로 안데저도 네팔이 가서 네팔이네 다 잠이다 고저 군동제 가서 참아시리 신도 잠발라 가저기 로부지다 멘다제제 콜랑갈라 지나고 사루 말이제 코시리
it took 2 months 2 months from Lhasa to India. And on the way they couldn't carry much food. They actually from their village, which is eastern, they brought quite a lot of food, but they couldn't carry. So some of them they thrown in the rivers, and they brought only what they can carry. And on the way they bagged the food, and then they came.
Tene nganzo katarela robuchi de tsena ko saru je se de tsambala nganzo tsama zhe chinje me tsama zhe na tore nganzo tsama me chugu de lan se tsama lan yong tene nganzo zengka na la nepali ge zengka na la da nima den zi da
Kizi midi chik ser ka se sha kombul.
sha mare katari
Katalin khore.
nepali ge sa sha
Nepali ki police ki ser. One of the monk friend has killed by the Nepalese police, and then group they were 19, so one of them killed by the police, and then and they were just ran away, and they were kept in the prison for a week. Yeah. Sulukumbu, through Sulukumbu. Yeah. Sulukumbu, Russia Kumbu, yeah, Sulukumbu, yeah. They were taken and put into prison, yeah.
tene nganzo me nganzo nyo de bu da tsama do me chu ge chu ge de nepali ne ya yong ne ko zo ye zo ka na la ni ma de da ne tene ne le kan ye jo ja ba ji du ko ge len sa yong jang nganzo ma da nganzo ro bu me cha ba de ma ti je me se jo de nyo de ma ti je mo da no ko zo dong je ko zo ge dong ba ga ma da tene je sha yin da me tsama to je yo ma
We were 19, and there were 7 monks. They were taken, these 7 monks, with that dead body, and they were badly bitten. Their all face are swollen, and then they were put in the prison for 1 week. And then some person from reception center from Kathmandu, Tibetan reception center from Kathmandu, they came to help them.
tene nganzo pui la ni ma chonga la nya je ko zo tsama ma tu ju yang ja dong ba da tsama ye ju tsama ma tu ju je tene ya jida dong ba na la ya dharamsala ya tans
Then we were in Kathmandu reception center, and we did all the treatments, those who are swollen face, and then almost 15 days we stayed in Kathmandu. Then we came to Dharamsala. Yeah.
And how long was that ago?
The Kanang Kadinore. 93.
그래서 개할이 디가네 미숨지서니 아니 지단 아니 니제 신배 상물로 단다 마카모 전에 아니 구쇼긴지리 안간저 랑가샤 공부기지요.
We were 32, and 2 nuns, and rest of them the monks from Eastern Tibet. We came through Sulukumbu.
안저 샤 공부네 저 인디가네 단다 샤 공부 비게야 투된 실리사 공부스도 어디라 권다 대인데 제제 띵 안저 저고야 치스
In Sulukumbu, there's a Thupten Choling monastery. We stayed there, and they helped us a lot.
아니 안저 랑가 소인디가네 네발리 사젤라 믹세기 디게제 칼레스티리 케춤서 안저 치나고 니메기링이 아니 또제 사야세 아니 치나고를 사도 수루보다 안 치나고 니 지에마냐바 뒤주 동부 지에메와 안 치나고 다직 이양다 딘데 세르포크 제이네레다 베서 빈주시제 엔딘데시 용제 엔데시제 초타서
On the way, we didn't face as our friend faced in the prison and bitten by the Nepalese police, because what we did is we walked all the time in the night. During the day, we hide ourselves. During the night, whatever it is, we walked. And through the since we walked during the night, it was quite safe for us. We didn't meet police, and we didn't get such problem. combatem ne yong labres and the thought and this la thought and yores ne la kana juta ya ko yebes and konda any dapta to be lo shuke ye condition besa
konda da chongse mese da inde lang az mi ji ge interest inde ji dian jian du che ni le zhugo re e xin be lang az da hang go da inde de mi se ya go ske khoya yo mar de le ani ni le an ngang zu chi ni de ni le teng mu ji mi ge ga zhu ni du an ko lang ga gi yu jian din de che che an du si ri gi je du si je yong bi pene gu ju go ni na
ya gre gong gre gre
먼저 윤두간에 진다 죽지나다 다 인공가
we came in November and one good part of this is that our guide knows once he been to Sulukompo he knows the way so he leads us wherever there's no people we use that our guide use the torch and he leads and we follow them if there's a people around we don't use but he knows the path that's where we came but we don't have good shoes good clothes as other people have but because of that guide he knows the way so it was quite helpful
윤두 장모인의 수고 최기도 남자 체인디
so it's actually it's very cold cold in Solukompo but since we are walking we are warming up and it's better to walk than sit
아니 근데 아니 님은 니성이 가서 님 니성이부터 슬랑갈 거스 님 니성이네 안 가서 배유기 계산을 줄이서
it took us 22 days and then we reached Kathmandu reception center it took us the 22 days to cross the border and
The fact that you don't have a passport anymore. You're limited to traffic. Is that a problem?
아니 자갈 수용도 강에 개체해서
제가 주인데 제가 나로로 그래
카트만두는 자갈 수용도
아니 카트만두네 제가 주인데 강에 지슈 바스날 체서 바스날 ngazo sanje ginje ke mashim ginje an nebali phosa dinje phege ti shenye inje an khonje langwa gyus an khonje khala se se saga dinje gyus che an ngazo thi an phege le du kane ani khonje ngui mangu shibji pho ani tawani ngazo da langga rogu du lakbone an chuje ro dinje khonje 당고 mi din da len choje zu ma je won je 강에 mangu ches
진짜 야가 슝게 개 강에 야랑 강에 개 마셔
제가 신기 강에 기죠
there's a not much problem the only way we face the problem is that since we don't know the Indian language and we met some Nepalese young boys who speak a little bit Tibetan they said they were saying that they know the place they know the hotel and they took us hotel and they robbed us some of them they taken some watches from our friends so that was a difficult part otherwise the Indian government or Indian people they didn't hustle them is that the rest of the Tibetans or I'm just worried a little bit I'm Lobsang Dechen from Dharamsala, working for the Tibetan Nuns Project. I'm the co-director of the Tibetan Nuns Project.
I'm Ngawan Chunsum. I'm in Domani Naniri in Dharamsala.
My name is Jaya Gigi. I am in Domali Nuns.
My name is Kenzen Sonam. My nunnery is in Dharamsala, Kanden Chuli.
Millions and trillions of little sparks. And these little sparks landed upon the earth. And some fizzled out and were extinct. Others said, ooh, great opportunity. We can explore this earth. And yet others said, oh, how we long to get back to the great spark. And so they devoted themselves to the path of devotion and the path of selfless service to try to awaken the loving kindness in other sparks that had forgotten from where they came. In a parallel vein, Avalokitesvara to take the embodiment that we have and the responsibility. To be in the world but not of the world is to be fully embodied and yet with the spirit of detachment. It is to be present with complete mindfulness and yet with modest selflessness. It is to know why I am here. What have I done? What will I do? The great dragon roared this morning, ushering us in. So how will we respond? How are we responding? We cannot deny. So to go beyond Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhisvaha, is to go beyond, the farther beyond, to go totally beyond. First is the spiritual bond of communion that should arise from hearts united in Christ and animated by charity or loving kindness. And the second is the visible living in common in a lawfully constituted religious house with fidelity to the same rules and regulations. In my community, actually last year, we began to implement ways to create greater communities, ways to foster communication, ways to uplift our lives and uplift others. And knowing of the Eightfold Path, we adopted it, I began, as looking at it as the 8 principles for review of life. Do I see the face of Christ or Buddha nature in each of my sisters? All the evil karma ever created by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, hatred, and ignorance, born of my conduct, speech, and thought, I now confess openly and fully. Right action, samakmanta, is to abstain from destroying life, stealing, dishonest feelings, to promote moral, honorable, and peaceful conduct, is to act appropriately. We are all mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters to each other. Community is our home. We should feel at home in our communities while we are in this world. Do we act as members of communities, really in this sharing relationship, or do we act as stewards, masters, or servants, not respecting our equality, as we say, our equality by our profession, equality by our love that we express? Effort. Samasvayama is to exercise the will to prevent evil and unwholesome states of mind from arising. It is to give authentically and generously, to really go beyond without counting the cost. Community is a common work. We all need to pull our share of the workload, household chores. So we look for excuses sometimes rather than facing the challenges. Right mindfulness, samasati. To be diligently attentive or aware with regard to the activities of the body, sensations and feelings, activities of the mind. To be in holy presence and act out of Buddha nature. What would the Buddha do? We keep that in mind each time we take a step. How would the Buddha walk? How would Buddha serve another? How would the Buddha speak to another? Our whole being, how do we extend Buddha nature to others? Have I really left my family, friends, culture, so that not now I live, but Christ is in me? Right concentration concentration entails one-pointedness, to go beyond my culture, put aside my Chinese ways, put aside my family, put aside everything, that only Buddha nature or Christ light may shine through me, that I may be another face and extension of the beloved to each other. Do I exert right concentration beyond race, creed, social status, rich or poor? Maybe there's another sister that enters the convent and she comes from a rich family. Do I treat her as an equal? Or maybe another comes from a poor family. We are all unique. We are all individual. We are all different. And yet, I want you to take a few and see, is it not all the same? Thank you.
I was born in Sri Lanka, by birth a Buddhist, and I studied in Sri Lanka and also later in England. I did my doctoral and postdoctoral work in the University of London, School of Oriental and African Studies. I became a professor in Pali, Sanskrit and Buddhist studies. Later I started working with the United Nations for several years as a gender expert, and sometimes I'm often in charge of the Asia desk in several UN organizations. So here I am wearing today another hat as a gender person. I'm sorry I have only 30 minutes, so it's not the usual way I conduct the gender training workshop. I will do my best. Maybe I will, from time to time, I will try to do some interactive activities. So with that introduction, let me go to my main topic. Let me first start saying that Buddhism has a fundamental difference between other religions, different from other religions. It's fundamental. That is the emphasis given to the individual. No God created us. That is a fundamental difference. And no God can help us. We have to help ourselves. There is absolutely no prayer that you can pray to the Buddha and ask for help. Absolutely no prayer. Later, of course, according to in the context of certain cultural context, situations change. But I am really talking about the original Buddhism in which I have been trained, in the Theravada Buddhism. Incidentally, Thera means T-H-E-R-A-R-A. Thera means stability in Pali. Thera means stability in Pali. Stability. The word therapy, which we use, psychotherapy, physiotherapy, came from the word thera. Therapy. The word therapy came from the word thera. So I'm often trying to use the original Buddhism. Although I'm a Sanskrit scholar, I may refer to Nagarjuna or some other scholar in between. Now, individual, the emphasis given by the Buddha to the individual is very, very important. Very, very important. That is where it is the unique feature of Buddhism. But you are your own leader. The Buddha said in no uncertain terms, no one can lead you. The Buddha, even the Buddha can only guide you. Buddha spoke about this, what I would call the social construction of race, class, and gender. What I define as the social construction of race, class, and gender. About race, speaking about the equality of human beings, he said in the Aganya Sutta that all, take a look at the animals like reptiles, animals with 4 legs, they are so different. Take an elephant, an ant, a snake, they are so different from each other. This is in the Aganya Sutta. You can call it human rights, you can call it the dignity of the individual, the dignity of the human being. He says the human beings are, we come from different races here, different countries from all over the world, different colors. I'm brown, somebody is yellow, someone else is white. Different colors and different religions, different races, different ethnic groups, different languages. The Buddha says in his own words, he says, the human beings look so similar. Only the color of the hair or the thickness of the hair, very small details like that, they change, it's different. Otherwise, human beings all have a nose in the middle, 2 eyes, all that. We all have no, 1 nose, 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 2 ears, don't we? Yes, we all have. So the Buddha says that in his own words. So human beings are all equal, the dignity of the human being. This is something very important for feminism. Everybody has a potential to realize. Everybody has to think of one's own self-development first. Before you try to develop the others, you have to think of your own development, self-development, to realize the potential to the fullest. At the same time, we have to think that, we have to realize that we have different skills and different talents. We are also that is what I call the anthropological explanation of the social construction of race, class, and gender. He gives also an economic explanation in the same sutta, Aganya Sutta. Some people are born poor, some people are born rich, some people are born clever, some people are not that clever. Because of the karmic force, the karma that you have accumulated. But we transform this concept of, it's not the destiny that you get in the Indian tradition, pre-Buddhist times. He transformed, he absorbed that concept of karma, in Pali karma, Sanskrit word is karma. He transformed that concept to mean your own responsibility. Your own responsibility. And he also added that if you may inherit, the exact words he has used this, not you must inherit. Not that you must reap the results of your karma. You may reap the results of your karma. You can change your own karma. If you are born poor or not well placed in society, underprivileged, not enough food to eat, he said it is not your own, not your fault. It's the fault of the rulers. A social dimension, a political dimension is here. It is the fault of the rulers. The rulers have to take care of you, of the farmers, the traders. The farmers have to be given seeds at the right time. The traders have to be given seed money at the right time for them to invest and to do the trading. So he always looked at 2 sides of the same issue. You are born with certain karmic force that you have accumulated. You may have accumulated. But it is the rulers who are also responsible for that. At the same time, you can also change your karma, like the debit and the credit account. Exactly the debit and the credit account. Papa karma, punya karma. Papa karma is evil deeds, the debit account. Punya karma is the good deeds, the credit account. If you have very little money in your bank, what you can do is if you put some more money into the bank, then you try to balance your account. The Buddha exactly said that. Punya karma, if you do more punya karma, be of service to the people, service to the humanities, your humanity, your community, your society, Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya, you can change that Papa karma to punya karma, have more credit in your bank balance and cancel the debit account. So, and then again in the way of introduction, also we talked about spiritual equality. In no uncertain terms he said, be it a man, be it a woman, it is the same chariot that would take you to Nibbana. Whether it is a man or a woman, it is the same chariot that would take you to Nibbana, final destination. So this is the real true empowerment of women. Now, when it comes to the true empowerment, the Buddha has gone beyond. He spoke of a state of non-existence of self. Who are we here? We are all we have different names, different colors, different persons, men and women. But when it comes to it, who are we? What are we? We are only the 5 elements. So it is the 5 elements, Panchabhuta. It's a deconstructionist theory, right? What we call deconstructionist. Those of you who know Derrida in fact took a very simple form of deconstructionist theory. It's a very simple form. The Buddha went far beyond, and Nagarjuna, the Mahayana scholar, went far, far beyond. And he